You're breathing air that should already be gone. And the only reason it isn't is because of trees. Right now, somewhere on Earth, a person is standing in freezing rain, digging into rock-hard soil, planting tiny trees one by one. No applause, no cameras, just mud, exhaustion, and a race against time. Because every minute, forests disappear faster than cities grow. But here's the strange part. Scientists believe planting 1 trillion trees could actually slow climate collapse. Not stop it, slow it. Which means the future of human civilization may depend on something smaller than your hand. And this is where it gets weird. Earth already has around 3 trillion trees. Sounds like plenty, right? Wrong. We're cutting down nearly 10 billion every single year. Entire forests vanish before most people finish breakfast. At first, the damage felt invisible. 1 degree hotter didn't seem catastrophic. But oceans started rising. Crops began failing. Heat waves became deadlier. Species disappeared forever. Suddenly, 1 degree didn't feel small anymore. So humanity started proposing insane solutions. A giant umbrella in space. Massive mirrors to reflect sunlight away from Earth. Billion-dollar geoengineering experiments that sound like science fiction. Meanwhile, the planet had already invented the perfect carbon-capturing machine millions of years ago. Trees. They absorb carbon, release oxygen, cool cities, protect water, stabilize ecosystems. And unlike giant space mirrors, they already work. But that's not even the craziest part. If every person on Earth planted just 150 trees, we could theoretically hit the 1 trillion target. Simple math. Impossible reality. Because planting trees isn't peaceful nature therapy. It's brutal. Workers haul over 20 kilograms of gear through storms, insects, mud, and extreme heat. Some plant 2,000 trees in a single shift, day after day. Now imagine doing that for the next 570,000 years. That's what it would take to plant 1 trillion trees manually. And that's when things changed. Humanity realized something terrifying. We are far better at destroying forests than rebuilding them. And the consequences are already everywhere. Floods hitting places that never flooded before. Wildfires burning hotter and longer. Entire ecosystems collapsing silently while most people scroll past the headlines. But here's the strange part. Deforestation creates more greenhouse emissions than almost every car, truck, train, and plane on Earth combined. Trees disappearing may be more dangerous than transportation itself. And this is where the story flips completely. For years, people believed climate change was mainly about emissions. But scientists began uncovering something deeper. Forests don't just absorb carbon. They regulate rainfall, cool the atmosphere, and literally shape weather systems across continents. Take away enough trees, and entire regions can start drying out. Which means forests aren't decorations. They're infrastructure for life. But that realization created a horrifying question. What happens if we fail? A Yale study estimated that if current deforestation continues, Earth could become nearly treeless within 300 years. That sounds distant until you realize civilization itself is only a few thousand years old. Half the planet's trees are already gone since the last ice age. Half. And most people barely noticed. What happens next changes everything. Because humanity may have finally found a way to fight back at scale. Tree planting drones. Machines capable of firing seed pods into the ground at incredible speed. Up to 100,000 trees a day. The work of dozens of veteran planters completed by flying robots. At first, it sounded ridiculous. Then companies actually started doing it. Suddenly, reforesting entire landscapes no longer felt impossible. Artificial intelligence began mapping damaged ecosystems. Autonomous drones targeted soil conditions humans could barely reach. For the first time, technology wasn't replacing nature. It was helping rebuild it. But there's one massive problem nobody talks about. Planting trees is easy. Keeping them alive is the real battle. Because forests are not just rows of trees. They are living systems. Plant the wrong species in the wrong place, and entire ecosystems can collapse even faster. Some forests take centuries to mature. Others burn before they ever grow. And climate change itself is now making reforestation harder every year, which creates a terrifying paradox. The hotter Earth gets, the harder it becomes to grow the very forests needed to cool it down. But here's the strange part. Even if humanity somehow planted 1 trillion trees tomorrow, it still wouldn't erase the damage already done. Oceans would continue warming. Ice sheets would keep melting. Weather patterns would remain unstable for decades. So why fight this hard? Because time matters. Every year delayed is another year for clean energy, another year for adaptation, another year for survival. Trees don't save humanity overnight. They buy humanity time. And that may be the most valuable resource left. But that's not even the craziest part. The world without trees is almost impossible to imagine. Cities would overheat. Food chains would collapse. Oxygen levels would slowly decline. Rainfall patterns would fail. Entire nations could become unlivable. Civilization itself was built in the shadow of forests. And yet most people walk past trees every day without ever realizing they may be the only reason modern life exists at all. And this is where it gets unsettling. Right now, somewhere on Earth, another forest is disappearing. Another wildfire is spreading. Another chainsaw is cutting deeper into land that took centuries to grow. At the exact same moment, someone else is kneeling in the dirt, planting another tiny tree with no guarantee it survives. One side is destroying the future. The other is trying to buy it back. But the real question is, will humanity regrow the planet before the planet decides it no longer needs humanity?